Yes, it's that time of week again where I get to tell you how awkward this episode of Watamote is. It is my review of Watamote, Episode 5. The show continues to be the anime equivalent of nails on a chalkboard. It is so tough to watch, but again, it is absolutely hilarious this week. This episode probably had the most laughing out loud moments that were immediately followed by insatiable sad regret at the fact that I'm laughing at this poor girl. Because she isn't getting any better. She's, if anything, getting worse. But it's okay because the opening still kicks ass. So what made this episode funny? Well, it's actually something that I can relate to. I want to call this the coffee adventure. This was the episode where we finally get to see her venture out a little bit more into the world and act like an actual teenager and go and get some coffee. But before that begins, she decides to take on a brand new persona, something that has been hammered into our minds in all the anime that we've seen over the years. She wants to be the silent girl, the one that everybody just seems to love. This is a character trope that, if you watch a lot of anime, I'm pretty sure you've run into this type of character at least once. The problem is she doesn't realize that in order to actually be this character effectively, you have to have somebody be with you as well. You have to have a friend, someone to help you along. And essentially what follows is a bunch of scenes of her going throughout her entire school day, essentially just pushing herself aside from everybody and being this dark gray person and not participating in anything. And oddly enough, what happens? Everybody ignores her, so it doesn't work, and it dawns on her this isn't going to work out either. What's funny is this is followed up by this really, really great scene where she finally goes to this coffee establishment, which is essentially a ripoff on Starbucks. And she's apparently never been to a coffee shop before, because she doesn't even know how to order, and she's freaking out. She doesn't even want to say the right thing. She's just pointing to things on the menu, and she decides to go with the G option, which is the grande size. The grande. You gotta roll the R. So she doesn't realize she's about to get this, like, disturbingly massive coffee, and it's hilarious when she gets it for the first time, because she just hates it outright, and I can understand why. I hate coffee. It's bitter as hell. It's disgusting, it stunts your growth, and I'm already a freaking dwarf as is. I don't need the coffee. And you know what? I understand why people like coffee so much. When you toss in a bunch of cinnamon, chocolate syrup, and freaking whipped cream and put a damn cherry on it, it fucking becomes dessert. This is not a dessert for Tomoko. We actually get to see she starts adding a ton of different stuff to her coffee to try to make it taste a little bit better. That doesn't work. She ends up hating it, and this is where the episode just makes you jump out of your chair, and you feel so bad for her because she's like, screw this noise, I'm getting ready to leave. So she starts to get out of those chairs, which if you've ever been to a Starbucks before, they have those obnoxiously giant chairs, and as she's getting out, she trips, falls over, falls flat on her face, coffee goes everywhere. That's the end of the scene. It is so freaking sad. It actually ends with her watching an anime with a very silent character on it, and then she's like, screw you. So the A story was pretty funny this week, but what about the B story? Well, things get kicked up to 11 when we figure out that Tomoko wants to be a better woman by becoming a cabaret girl. And if you don't know what that is, it's essentially just a really nice waitress who likes your cigars and pours you drinks. She tries to become a cabaret girl in a lot of weird ways. One of them is she tries to replace one of her brother's drinks with a Coca-Cola because she actually stole one of his drinks and pissed him off. And she does this in a really funny manner. She tries to give him the Coke. It doesn't work. She opens it, which it slowly fizzes all over the floor, which of course results in her brother flipping his shit. Things get even weirder at the end of the episode when she decides to go to the park and work on her cabaret skills. She sits down at this bench and brings a lighter with her because cabaret girls like to light the cigarettes and cigars of businessmen. And she waits for this dude to come over and pull out his cigarette so that she can light it. What's creepy about the scene is it's so obvious what she's trying to do because every single time this guy pulls out his cigarette, she immediately starts playing with the lighter, and he never asks for a light ever. It just looks weird. It just looks like this creepy girl sitting on the bench playing with a lighter. I don't know. I would want to get the hell out of there. The scene at the end is really funny, though, where she gets to go deep into the city and get to see what it's really like to be a cabaret girl, and she can't handle any of it. It's just not her type of world. She's a high school girl. She doesn't need to be in that type of environment. And essentially, there's, like, call girls all over the place. And there's even this one scene where she thinks she's going to, like, get picked up by this pimp. It's really, really funny. And eventually it gets to a point where she just freaks out and she can't take it and she decides to leave. So this was another exercise in how long can you take. And I thought it was really good this week. Really, really funny. There were a lot of slapstick moments this week that I think made it hilarious. If I only had one negative to say, it was probably I didn't like the new ending. Believe it or not, 5 episodes in, there's already a brand new ending. And it's weird. I don't know what to make of it. I don't like it compared to the last one. I hope they never change the opening, which is still awesome. So just another exercise in awkwardness that this series is just mastering. You know, she still hasn't made any progress whatsoever since episode 1. And that's going to affect the way a lot of people like this series. Some people are going to want to see her succeed and try to become a better person and more sociable. And then there are others who probably want it to stay like this just forever, and maybe there's even a middle ground in there somewhere. But I can't wait to see where it's going to progress because it's one of the funniest shows I've seen in a long time. And this one probably had my favorite slapstick moments. So if you're a fan of that type of stuff that's going to make you laugh out loud and just make you feel awkward as hell for laughing at it, make sure and check out this week's episode of Watamote. And if you guys did get a chance to check out this week's episode, I'd love to know what you guys thought about it. Maybe you could tell me about your favorite moments, and you can let me know about those in your comments below. You guys know the drill. Make sure before you leave, give the video a thumbs up. I implore you. It is absolutely one of the best ways to support our videos. That and subscribing, of course, and watching some of our other videos. Like, how about checking out my review on the last episode? So, there it is. There's my stupid sales pitch. Make sure you thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you for the next review next time, guys. Super Comic Guru 9000, out.